Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to put hanging indents on a works cited or references page for both the MLA and the APA styles. And so as you can see here, I already have the information written onto the page. I actually have sources from two different places. One of them is listed here. Motoko Rich is the lead author, and then Valerie Richardson is the lead author. And I've put them in both MLA and APA style so that you can essentially compare apples for apples. Okay, so that's kind of the reason this is like this. And so you can see here we've got first the works cited page, and everything is already double spaced. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can actually make hanging indents very, very simply. And so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. And I just want to show you that you will take your left mouse button and go ahead and left mouse click on that. And then what you would do in the home taskbar, you're going to go to paragraph. So you click on paragraph. And here, everything is zeros, and that's how you want it to be because it affects the line spacing. If anything was off 8, 6, whatever, it would actually throw the line spacing off and make it stranger. So it's already set to double. I'd already done that. And where you're going to go in order to engage the hanging indent is under Special. So you click a down arrow, you hit Hanging. You say OK, and voila, it gives you the hanging indents. Now, let's say that you don't want to do that. You'd rather do it more manually. You can have it highlighted as I have it here, and you can go here on this taskbar, or I should say ruler bar, and on the ruler, click on the very bottom and take it over the 5 or 6 spaces that you want it to go, like so. So there's, like I said, a couple different ways. There may actually be more, but these are the two that I tend to use. Okay, and then notice because this was not highlighted, it didn't do anything with them. Okay, so again, if you wanted to move this over as far as give it hanging indents, one way to do it is to highlight it and to go ahead and click here and move it over like so. The other way, again, is to go up to paragraph and then click on Special and do hanging, say OK, and take it over that way. Now, something else that I want you to see is you actually don't have to do it section by section. I kind of did that just so you have extra practice or extra time seeing it so that way maybe it sticks better. So notice that everything is left justified once again. So you can highlight the whole thing. And then once you highlight the whole thing, what you can then do is go to paragraph and go ahead and go to Special again, hit hanging, say OK, and you'll notice that everything on the page is now hanging, even including this, which is really not what I intended. Okay, so that's a little problematic, but generally that wouldn't matter because you wouldn't have it here anyway. Anyway, the point is you could do the whole page if you wanted to. And if it was a works cited page or a references page, it wouldn't matter because everything would hanging indent as it should. Because I have this all weird with these sample in-text citation things, it's a little bit different story. And so it looks a little... Okay, so my recorder's giving me a little problems. Hopefully this won't be too weird because it keeps stopping in the middle of my spiel. But the other thing that I want to show you, and actually, let me go ahead and put these in hanging indent form again. And this is easy, so we're going to just do that. So that one's in the hanging indent. This one already is, so actually, no, it's not. It's the opposite of hanging. So we'll go ahead and highlight that. And again, just move this over. Okay, so now it's having or showing hanging indents. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to basically just kind of walk you through the source information so you can see the difference here. So in the first example, I just show you what a basic website looks like with the last name, comma, first name, period, title of article in quotation marks, the name of the website in italics, name of the publisher with a comma and the date it was published followed by a period. Then you have the word web and the date you retrieved the information from. Okay? So if you follow that, you can see that the example of the first source this is Motoko Rich. So the name goes in reverse order, Rich, comma, Motoko, comma, Amanda Cox. Notice how that's in the normal order. And then Matthew Bloch, followed by a period. Then in quotation marks, the name of the article. Notice how it's money, comma, race, and success. Excuse me, how your school district compares. There's nothing weird with that, and is not capitalized. You don't capitalize articles or prepositions whenever you type titles, and it is in quotation marks. Then we have the article it came from, the website it came from, which is the New York Times. It's in italics, and then it gets repeated because that's also the publisher. So we have the New York Times, and it was published on April 26, 2016. It came from the web, and we retrieved it on March 28, 2018. Now I'm going to take a quick look here, mainly because I want to check one thing. And that one thing, if this will decide to load sometime today, is the actual publisher of the New York Times. I actually think there's a word that's missing, and it may or may not be. I can't. There we go. Okay. So this is the New York Times website, and I just want to scroll down to the bottom. So it's the New York Times Company. So what we want to do is we want to add that word, the New York Times Company. I'm not sure what it's wanting to do, but it's playing with me. I can tell you that. Okay, there we go. So the New York Times Company, the date it was published, April 16th, 2016. Notice the reverse order, 26, and then APR period, the year, the word web, and then the retrieval date, which was March 28th, 2018. Then for the next one, we've got Valerie Richardson. So Richardson, comma, Valerie. The title is Resolving Anthem Protests. There's a colon because this is a subtitle. Team owners put off discussion on Anthem to May League meeting. Notice how it's ensconced in quotation marks. And then we have the title, the Washington Times in italics. And then the Washington Times LLC for the publisher, published on March 27th, 2018. Then we have the word, actually there should be a period there. Then the word web, and then the date that it was retrieved, March 28th, 2018. Sample and text citations follow. This is what they would look like in the body of the paper every time you cite from them. So in parentheses, Rich, Cox, and Bloch. It's like a rhyme, right? And then Richardson. Okay, so that's how those would look. And that is what the Works Cited page looks like, properly done. And then again with the sample and text citations. I'm frozen, or I was. Okay. Now with the references page, this is the same information. Okay. And so with the references page, what we have, again, is the basic order of an online source. So it's last comma, first initial, period. If you add middle initials, you would include those. In parentheses, you put the year. If the month and the day are on the article or whatever, you would include those. It's just year, comma, and then the article. Sorry, that's so funny. I read article up there. And then the date. Okay, and you'll see in my examples how it actually plays out. Then the article title in a very non-fancy situation or setup. There's no quotation marks. The letters are all lowercase with the exception of the first word, any proper names, and any names following or any words following punctuation. And we're going to look at examples which will hopefully clarify that. Then we have the title of the website in italics, followed by a period, and then the URL with the words retrieve from. So retrieve from and copy and paste the URL. So you can see the example. We've got rich, comma, M. We only use initials for first and middle names. So rich, comma, M. And notice how there's periods after the M because it's an initial, and then a comma, and then Cox, comma, A, period, another comma, the word and then Bloch, comma, M, period. That's the setup when you have a bunch of authors for the APA style. Then we put the date that it was printed. So we put 2016, comma, the date in this case was available, so we went ahead and put it, April 26th, period. Then we have money, race, and success, how your school district compares. Notice that money is capitalized, nothing else is until the colon and the word after that, which is how, and that's it, because nothing else in there is proper and therefore doesn't need to be capitalized. Notice there isn't quotation marks whenever it's an APA source for a references page. And then we have the title of the magazine or newspaper, so the New York Times in italics, and then we have the words retrieved from and the URL. Okay. Sample index citations for these are Richardson with the year 2008, and then Rich Cox. Notice the ampersand sign, and Bloch, comma, 2016. That's how you would cite those in the body anytime you cited or quoted or summarized for those. If you look at Richardson, the website here, we've got Richardson, comma, V, period. We've got a date, 2018, comma, March 27th. Resolving anthem problems, colon, team owners put off discussion on anthem to May League meeting. Notice how only the word team and the word May are capitalized. Everything else is lowercase because there's no proper names aside from May. And, oh, hold on, resolving is also capitalized. Team is capitalized because it's following a colon. And again, the rule in APA style is if it's following a colon, then it gets capitalized, but that's the only time. It came from the Washington Times, which is italicized. And then you put the words retrieve from, and again, you copy and paste the URL, just as we have it here. Okay. And so that's the examples that I have, kind of simple, but straightforward, hopefully, to the point. And you can see the difference. And again, they're right here on the same page, so you can literally compare apples for apples or apples for oranges, as the case may be. And, I think it bears being said that APA focuses on date, whereas MLA does not. Date comes at the end for MLA, whereas it comes second right after the author for the APA style. And it really has to do with APA's focus generally is on research. And so year matters because they're looking at the most recent research. This study was done in 1952 versus this study which was done in 2018. Therefore, in theory, because it's a newer study, perhaps it's more reputable. Who knows? Okay. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have questions, as always, ask me. And as usual, have fun, happy writing, and have a great day.